How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation episode review. Today's episode is episode 7 of this second season, entitled The Kidnapping and Confinement of Beast Girls. Before we go any further, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified of more videos such as this one. Interesting title, given that last week we had literal purchasing of a slave. So yeah. Um, this episode is. I always try not to spoil how I feel about these early on, because you can kind of guess where my ratings go. This episode's pretty good, y'all. I. It's hard to find anything bad to say about it, and there's so many interesting notes to make. So we start off, and I love how we start off. We start off from the perspective of Fitz, aka Sylphie, right? Sylphie wakes up early, puts on clothes to kind of look nondescript, throws on a hat. We'll use the wand that Rudy gave her, magical wand, for poof, water splashes her face, and she wakes up early and runs until she can't run anymore. It allows her to learn all the streets and the layout of the place, as well as know how further she could push herself. And she says she just started doing this routine because she figured it was something Rudy would do. And we literally see in the background, that's the foreground, right? And no, the foreground's in front of you. The background, we see Rudy running past in his little Rudy shorts. So yeah, she knows her man very well. And for the rest of the day, she's in classes. She says classes are boring because Rudy's taught her all of this stuff. And it turns out he really knew a lot at his age. She's helping the princess understand the spell. She's doodling a little Rudy face, walking with the princess. Obviously, she's in the front, princess in the middle, Luke is behind. They're walking, going to a boutique that she found, going through these back roads. Luke gives us a little information saying, yeah, it's designed like a maze because initially they had no defenses from invasions. And apparently he learned this from a girl he was dating, which he was given advice by the princess to, be careful when you're going around doing your dilly-daddling because you might get stabbed in the back. To which, he responds about that Notos blood. It's just that Notos blood in them. They love the ladies, which is actually very true. If you remember Eris's grandfather doing the do with a maid helper, yeah. And then look at Rudy's own dad, which Sylphie even says. She says, I wonder if Rudy is like that, if he's girl crazy, because would he settle down if he got married? Nah, because if you think about it, his dad was the same. He was the same, yeah. And throughout the day, when she's laying in bed looking at that wand, she's like, I've been thinking about him a lot lately. And she wonders what type of relationship she wants them to have with one another, which makes her entire face and ears blush. And she's just, Sylphie is a girly girl through and through and through. And now we go back to Rudy's perspective. He's still working on Julie, helping her learn to do silent incantations. And he gave himself a month. He said, in a month, I'm going to have her do this. In a month, he's teaching her a little bit here and there. And Zenoba, excuse me, because every other day, he teaches her a silent incantation, and then he has her do another thing. And Zenoba's like, this ain't going to work, but she learned how to do it in 1 month. He also was teaching her human language, taught her dog, cat, love, which is quite interesting given what our episode is about, right? And to his surprise, Zenoba cares about other things outside of figures. He's been, making sure that Julie is okay. We see Julie, cleaning the floors, and looks like she's about to drink something she wasn't supposed to. He's like, hey, no, don't drink that. Now, usually, slaves have a special spell marker put on them so that they can't run away. That probably makes liberating them a lot harder, doesn't it? Interesting. I digress. Julie is not a slave. She is Rudy's apprentice and Zenoba's disciple. Although the word he used was Imoto. Imoto, in Japanese, is little sister. And this is pretty much how he's treating her. He's treating her like a little sister, which I find very cute. Now, as since Zenoba is literally a zealot of Rudy, because Rudy is his master, his sculpting master, he wants to show off the Ruger figure. And he's going over it in detail, telling Julie about all of this and that. And she's just eagerly like listening. And then Rudy goes, "Oh, the Roxy one. I want to see it." And Zenoba, was like, no, he tries to tell a lie. Rudy sees right through it, shows him that this thing is smashed into pieces, and we get a glimpse of angry Rudy. With his eye, the demon eye turns red, both eyes turn red, and it's so adorable because as he's going off, but he's not yelling. He's going off, and you see Julie get out of the seat, go and hide behind Zenoba, and then as Rudy is getting further and further into this silent, calm rage, she kind of runs away a little bit. And when Zenoba starts crying, telling him what happened, that these two broke it in a wager. And, she pats his head. It's adorable. But we get, again, Rudy's scary face is when he does a weird smiling thing. So he's like, "I wish you would have told me from the beginning because I wouldn't have been nice with those two." Okay, cool. I'm going to go get revenge. And it's funny because the way he was coming at Zenoba, saying like, are you my enemy? Are you trying to make fun of Roxy?" It's weird. So like, is this a Japanese thing? Maybe. And maybe if any of my watchers are Japanese or understand the culture a little bit more than I do, from a religious or spiritual standpoint, he considers like Roxy his goddess, right? Because in his shrine is her panties from when he was little, the panties of the goddess, right? And he even says later on, like, his religion's kind of new, so he's figuring things out. So is this just a weird otaku thing where he's like, "Yes, my goddess, ooh," but he has a real reason to revere her. Like, she's a great maid. She taught him tons of magic, and she is the one that helped him get out and to see the world. Like, she got him to step out of the house. So I get the reverence, but at the same time, you kind of want to bone your goddess, right? Right? Okay. So eventually, these two do come across these two, right? And Rudy's doing tons of taunting in the Rudy style, right? This is Linnea and Persinia. Linnea is the cat, Persinia is the dog, and Rudy's doing a bit of taunting, going, telling Zenoba, "I don't be embarrassed." They basically ganged up on you. It's kind of sad that neither one of you could do anything by yourself. The cat girl is the one that has the explosive temper. And so, of course, she's going to be the one that want to fight. Because she's saying, you know, uh, her threats are weird, right? Like, she want to strip Rudy neck and throw him in the water. Which, remember, their Dodia. We'll get back to that in a second. And so she moves super fast. He can only see her because of the demon eye. The dog girl's about to do some type of dog thingy. And I guess he threw a stink bomb at her. Maybe told Zenoba to take care of her. Rudy easily knocks her, just like palm thrust to the head, steps on her chest, literally steps on her boobs, and looking at like, "Oh, white today. Why are you checking?" Look, as much as I like Rudy, there's still a lot of that otaku. I wonder if it is the Noto's blood or if it's just like, no, it probably is the Noto's blood. Because I don't remember if this dude was a perv in his first life. He had figures, but he was more of a neat than a perv, right? And so, by the way, he has to help Zenoba capture her, and he makes the joke about, is he a grappler? Fighting games. Uh, does the Quagmire, a little flick of rock knocks her out. He has them both bound and gagged. And then Rudy does something that I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen in other types of animes before. Ropes the dog girl. Because he wants to see if he's just checking, like, will this help my ED? No, well, it's nice. And he comes up with so many flowery, cute words for the situation, but he ain't getting it up, right? It ain't getting up. Uh, and so he, was it, does he take off the gag? He takes off her gag, which by the mind, Julie was there the whole time. Like she helped. He's like, come on out, tied them both up in these weird sacks. And then I guess they're in his room now. And he's going over. She's like, look, I don't. We don't have any. We didn't do anything to you. He's like, oh no, you did. Snaps his finger, shows the thing, and he goes to explain why this is important. It is uh, a figure of his goddess of the Roxy, of which explains why she's important to him. And then he shows them the shrine, the panty shrine, with a bright blue light coming from it. And now here's what makes this all funny, because of just this whole entire thing is funny, cute, and just crazy all at once. Because of how Zenoba's freaking out, and then Julie's crying. These two are looking. They're like, "Oh shit, we're in trouble." And Rudy goes to. Does he explain about the Dodia thing? Not yet. Um, when Prosinia, that's the dog, when she says, "Hey, she's the one that stomped it," and then the other one's like, so he's like, "This is gonna be funny." Takes the one out of there. They start bickering a bit, like, you said it was weird and you didn't want it. And she said, well, you're the one that stomped it, where you kicked it to the wind. Look, you're both guilty. As a matter of fact, when I was in the Dodia village, no. He says they need to both be punished. And the cat girl goes, look, my father and grandfather are going to get you. He said, oh, yeah, I was in the Dodia village. They accused me of doing something improper with their god. And I was stripped naked, thrown in a cell, and had water thrown on me. Maybe I should do that to you. And they're like, anything but that. They're freaking out. And he's insisting, because they're saying they'll never do it again. He's like, oh no, I bet you won't. But he's trying to figure out what to do with them. And it's so funny that he says, I'll forgive you if you fix it. And Zenoba thinks that he's like, even Master can't fix this. And he's like, oh wait, I actually can fix this. I have the materials. I have several improvements I can do upon it. I have the parts and everything. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I can fix this. It's like, dude. So if the whole thing wasn't that it was unfixable, it's just that you're mad because they stomped on your little god, what you consider a god. Which again, it's kind of weird because she's alive and she's just an elf lady, but sure, other spiritual beliefs have arisen in this type of way. I don't know. I do. One other funny thing is that he does say "shut up" in English, like "shut up." Uh, a thing that I didn't mention on how he goaded them, right? It was mostly starting with her, because they said, we were first years when we did it. We're model students now, and he says you can't even speak human language. He's like, "Nya nya nya." You still can't even speak human language. He's making fun of how she speaks. That's how he got her to fight, right? And they're both bickering a little bit more, right? And was it Rudy did a Roxy chant before the whole can he fix it? He did a Roxy chant, which had Zenoba do it, and then it also had little Julia do it. Still got the little tears, and she doesn't know what's going on. But hey, big brother and master teacher guy over here, that I'm going along with it, right? And so he's gonna keep them there. And he goes to Fitz. And I'm going to assume that they have been there. I don't know how long they've been there, actually, because he tied them up during the daytime. And it's still daytime when he talks to Fitz. And he says, yes, I'm trying to figure out what to do. And she is like, you tied up the Beast Girls? And then you touched their breasts? And he says, oh, no, it's more like an experiment. Because even Zenoba was like, said, how are you going to punish him? No, I'm just trying to see something. And she's like, oh, so you didn't touch them like that. Nah, not like that. But he wants to have a way to punish them that A, he's satisfied with, B, doesn't make them want revenge, and C, won't have them hold a grudge. And so Fitz like, I got an idea. Famous last words, blah, 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 blah. That's what Rudy said. So They come back, and this fool didn't uncuff them. He did cuffs with earth magic. Didn't uncuff them, so they peed all over themselves. And, the dog girl's like, I haven't eaten. I promise I won't howl or bark. Just please give me some food. And the cat girl's like, you could have taken the cuffs off, and, we won't go anywhere. Gotta remember, beast people are pretty much like beasts. You do have to, I don't want to say tame them, but you gotta tame them. You also have to show a power and will that is strong, which Rudy has been doing this whole entire time, and kind of doing that to them, kind of broken them. So him and Fitz, they wash their skirts and their panties and stuff, and Rudy's looking at their legs, and he's looking down himself like, still nothing. And even when they get rude with Fitz, right? It's so funny. He tells them both to sit, and they both just flat out sit. He's like, "You're going to listen to Fitz Senpai." It's just hilarious. Excuse me. And when they're trying to bargain, like, Persinia is so funny because Linnea is the one that takes a while, because she says, "Oh yeah, we're sorry." And every once in a while, first of all, Linnea goes, "First comes dating, then comes marriage. If we're gonna do all this," and it's hilarious, just hilarious misunderstanding at that point. But Persinia's like, "Yeah, and every once in a while you can touch Linea's boobs," and she's like, "Yeah, yeah." And wait a minute, why mine? Mine aren't cheap. It requires lots of meat. Well, mine aren't cheap either. Just hilarious. And so Fitz's solution is to paint their faces, and tells them that in some places there's special incantations that can make these things permanent. So listen up, you two. If you don't listen to Rudeus, I'm gonna make the tattoos on your face permanent. But as part of their punishment, they have to walk around all day with these on. It's already nighttime, right? And so they agree to it. They open up a window because they're just going to leave through the window because it's nighttime. No intermingling, apparently. And when Linnea asks, "So how were you able to follow our movements like that?" He goes, "Well, I just remembered my master's teachings and act accordingly." "Well, who's your master?" "Oh, Ghislaine." "Ghislaine of Dodia?" He's like, "Yeah." "Oh, this girl's gay is Gay's little girl. Gaze is Ghislaine's brother. So Ghislaine is technically her auntie." And they both kind of look at each other, nod, and they're like, all right, they've already started calling him boss. Dog calls him boss. She calls him boss as well. So Rudy is in charge. Man, bro, Rudy has a little tiny army here. And they take off. One thing to note that I forgot to mention after their fight, not just Rudy, but Zeno was like, "Hey, you did that without my help." And Rudy goes, "Yeah, that really wasn't tough. I guess Paul and Eris are actually really, really, really strong." That is interesting to note. I find it really great that he trained and gets his ass kicked by some of the strongest people. Eris had to work to be that strong. And he got his ass kicked by Rudyard, by Eris, by his dad Paul. And this happens so much that he's at a point where, oh, if you guys are lower than them, I can kind of beat you. At the same time, he does have that demon eye, which lets him see a little bit in the future. So you apply the training with that, it's pretty golden. And so Fitz is wants to see the little shrine thing. She's like, "Oh, you follow Emilius?" No, I'm a Roxanite." And when she wants to look in there, he's like, "No," thinking that he can't handle seeing that. But he said, "You can look at anything else." And she looks at a bunch of different stuff. He has a special pillow. I'm pretty sure it's a pillow he made to mimic the things in modern time. And when she lays down, and she's like, "You want to see?" And he's already thinking like he wants to see the glasses because she even doesn't take them off when she lays down, or he doesn't take them off when he lays down. And you want to see behind the glasses? He's like, I really do. And she looks like she's gonna do it, because once she does it, he's gonna know it's her. He's gonna know it's his boo thing, his whole reason for even going to Eris to begin with, right? Which is interesting. If Paul never kicked Rudy out of the house to go do that work to tutor Eris, to make the money so that he can pay for both him and Sylphie to go to school, which they're already there now. It's funny how things work out, right? Although I don't think that is by the will of the human man God. I don't think that's something he did. He doesn't seem like he cares that much. But yes, the fact that they're here. If he hadn't done all that and was there when that mass teleportation thing happened, probably would be dead already. Possibly. Who knows? So it's kind of nice how all these things work out. But she chickens out, say, no, Princess Ariel told me not to do it. It's by her order. And Rudy's like, oh, I'm sorry for, trying to make you do it. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. And she's behind the door doing that nice romance dramatic thing where the person just pauses behind the door. And Rudy's thinking, for some reason, I don't know why, but it feels like once he takes off the glasses and once I see his full face, like there's no turning back from that. And it's like, bro, if Fitz was actually a he, I find this very cute. But because we know Fitz is Sylphie, this is even more adorable because, dude, you don't realize that you're re-falling in love with your second love. I mean, I guess Roxy the goddess, so she would count as the first love, but his first love all over again. That's insane. That's insane. I love it, right? And yeah, that's the end of the episode. Next episode is going to be called The Fiance of Despair. Very cute episode. I'm enjoying. First of all, Juliet is adorable. Just more Juliet. I'm finding myself being a fan of the Beast Girls quite a bit. I like them for various reasons. But I'm liking that Rudy's having this, gathering of. It's kind of like a party if you think about it. I'm really hoping like the school days don't get fast forwarded through. I hope we get more of this. I hope he stays here because they're not first years anymore. Since he's a first year, I hope he's here for like 2 or 3. Particularly in Japan, they do schooling for 3 years, so maybe it's treated like that. I remember the city that they're in is hold on, I wrote this down. As a matter of fact, I think it's called Shiria. Because Renault is the name of the school. I wanna say. Nope, sorry, wrong thing. Yeah, a Sharia, City of Magic. So they're in the City of Magic. I hope they stay here a little bit longer. I hope there's some fun things to be had. We still haven't met the mysterious hidden classmate who I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I'm not gonna spoil it. But we haven't met this person. We've seen him in the. If you guys know who Nana Hoshi is, I think it's Nana Hoshi. So that's not spoiling anything for people who don't know. And if you don't know, don't look it up. Easy. But I'm pretty sure that's who's in the intro with all the pain. We haven't met. Wait, we haven't met the 4-armed demon guy either. We got some more friends to meet here, guys. All in all, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. Very cute, very wonderful. If she would have took off those glasses and we would have went into a cliffhanger, this would have been a 5 for me. But I like this character building. It's almost like you're watching. I don't want to say a slice of life, but it's almost like you're watching a romance isekai almost. This is like, it's hard to describe, but just the interactions, the intricacies, knowing him unknowingly having mastery over the beast girls. Because first time we meet beast people, first time I met a beast person was Ghislaine, and she was super strong, super alluring, attractive for him. Well, super alluring, attractive, period. But dealt with that. Then he went with the freeing of beast people. Then he had a bad experience. Was like, I didn't do anything. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to save all of you. So he's having interesting relationships with other characters. The only thing that annoys me with Rudy is, why didn't you from Jump? From Jump, when they introduced themselves and they were kind of high and mighty, because even here he's like, I still don't like their tone, even though they call him boss. You could have been like, yeah, I was imprisoned in Dolia. I know your dad and your granddad. I saved your village from being taken over and people grabbing all you guys. Were you there? You could have been there. Who knows? But yeah, I know your people. Stuff like that. It's probably why subconsciously I gave it a 4. Because I hate it when characters withhold information that seems kind of pointless to withhold. Granted, this is Rudy's MO from Jump. He's always been like, I'm going to hold back on some of this info just to see what's going on. Sometimes it's right, other times it's not. But I like that from his young Rudy to, you know, Magic University Rudy, who's at least 16, 17 right now. I like that he has matured a lot from there. Although his personal choices, I still don't understand the whole goddess thing myself. But you know what? To each their own, Rudy. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, please. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this one. I got more reviews on the way. So, with all that being said, thank you for showing up. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Please be good, be blessed, wash those hands, be safe out there, take care of yourself, be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk, all right? Realize that you are not alone in this world. There are people out there who care about you and they would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. All right. My social medias are right there in the description. Give me a follow, send me a message. Don't be a jerk, but I will most definitely get back to you. All right. All right, guys. Well, with that, I'm Shane. I can't wait to see what happens next week. Fiance of Disaster. Maybe it deals with the forearm guy. Maybe he is the disaster. Oh, no, despair. Maybe he is the despairing fiance. Who knows? But until then, have a magical week. I'll see you next time.